All right, what's going on, everybody? We're live. We're back with you. I want to talk altcoins a little bit. Want to get into what's going on with the market, some things we're looking out for this week. We are expecting some volatility. Traditional markets closed today, so kind of a low volume day across the board for crypto because of the traditional markets being closed. It is a banker's holiday, if you will, being it President's Day today. Um, so that is creating a little bit, less juice in the markets right now. But I want to talk about, a few altcoins, actually a number of altcoins throughout the live stream, and take some questions from you all. And shout out to everybody who's still rocking with this, man. I know the market's been brutal right now. We are up a little bit on the fear and greed index, up to 12. As crazy as that sounds, we're up to 12 on the fear and greed index. But yeah, we are bouncing off some lows. This is the longest we've ever been this low on the crypto fear and greed index. I've been talking quite a bit about this on X too. I actually posted this and pinned it. Yeah, I put up here 2026 bull run outlook. People wait for clarity before buying. Clarity only comes at all-time highs. By then, the opportunity's gone. Everyone says they'd buy the dip until the dip actually happens. If you don't have the balls to buy the fear, you don't deserve the moon. Stay convicted. And it's true, man. I mean, if we look at crypto in the past, and we take a look at all of these various moments in time where, it looked like it was all over. Fear was everywhere. All of the crypto haters were out in full force. But we've bounced back from all of these various collapses, right? We've always found a way to bounce back. And we look at 2012 Mt. Gox, 2017, the COVID crash, the FTX crash. I was around for the COVID crash and FTX crash, and it was brutal, man. It honestly felt worse in both of those scenarios. And maybe now, just because I have time in the market, like I'm just kind of used to the volatility or whatever. I think there's definitely some truth there. But, oftentimes, man, it's too late. If you're just sitting and waiting for the perfect moment, there's no perfect moment, right? You can't try to time and catch the bottom of these markets. But I wanted to get into some assets. We'll take a look at some charts. I have been making some trades and some plays, so we'll get into all of that as well here in the video. But this is a play I've been pretty successful. I've traded it once already successfully. This is a new crypto. It's in privacy. It's called Aztec. It's listed on Coinbase. And made a really good play on this. Got in at like the 2.0 flat level, rode it up to the 2.8 level. And if we look at kind of the 1 hour view, we caught this way down here at the 2.0 flat, rode it up almost to 3 cents Aztec. And I'm back in there. I'm back in this trade at the 0.023 level. We're a little bit below that 0.023. This is just a spot trade too, but we're back in there. It's been hanging out, holding the line. It's bouncing off of 215, 216 quite a bit right now. So it's actually hanging in there pretty nicely. We're utilizing XT Algo. There's a link down below in the description. This is my trading indicator. You guys could check it out if you want to, have the same signals I'm using. But there's a lot to get into, man. I'll tell you what, BitTensor Tau looks phenomenal right now. BitTensor Tau looks really, really good. And I was talking about this on the timeline as well not too long ago. I said, here you go. Here's your technical outlook on Tau. The charts don't lie. Following the successful defense of 140 bucks, is that support line we've been talking about. And we've been breaking out from that level ever since. We had a wick up late last night, I think up to like 217, I think. If we look at the last 24 hours, yeah. See this big wick up here? Got up to like 207. I think it might have been higher. It's hard to tell on CMC sometimes. But if we go over here and pull up Tau, We'll use the Binance chart. Yeah, it actually, yeah, we caught a wick all the way up to 215. And you guys can see, I mean, this has been a great trade for us, a great opportunity to trade it, but also to just accumulate it underneath 200 bucks, man. I think that's a really, really interesting spot to be picking up Bitens or Tau down here at these price levels. So I'm actually looking at quite a few altcoins that I want to maybe start to DCA into. I've been focusing a lot on Bitcoin as of late. Been focusing a lot on Bitcoin as of late, but I'm starting to, at least get into some of my altcoin positions. I'm looking at Solana. I did buy some of this not too long ago when it got down below 80 bucks. I think that's a really interesting play down below 80. XRP when it wicked down to 112. I love scooping this thing up under a buck 50. And as I've mentioned before, really anytime under $2. Do I think XRP can go a little bit lower? I think we could. So much of this is gonna come down to what Bitcoin does with alts right now. So much of this is gonna come right back to the granddaddy of them all, Bitcoin. If 60K was our low, when we wicked down to 60, then a lot of these altcoins could be close to the bottom. But I'm not going to try to time it perfectly. I've been focusing a lot on Bitcoin because you can only put your capital in so many places, right? And right now, while Bitcoin's down, I'm taking this time to kind of shore up that position and use some of my capital there. But I'm looking at some altcoins for sure. And I'm looking to make some short-term trades, but also, some longer plays, longer hold, longer spot buys and hold them. Right now I think Ethereum under 2K is interesting. I know Ethereum's been terrible performer, but eventually I think there's going to be a breakthrough moment for ETH. But I'm holding a good amount of ETH already that I've accumulated, roughly around like 1,500, 1,700. So for me right now, I'm not really prioritizing ETH at these levels. Now, if Ethereum somehow comes down below $1,000, I'll be a big buyer down there, right? Because then you're looking at a clean 4 or 5x under $1,000 on ETH. I think we can look at Solana right now and make an argument that, hey, if I'm choosing between Ethereum and Solana, probably Solana. Obviously, it's much smaller market cap, which brings a little bit more risk, but at the same in the same breath, like, we know Solana's not going anywhere. It's kind of solidified itself. I mean, the crash down Solana had during that whole FTX debacle, and then it was able to rebound the way it did. I think that right there solidified Solana in this market. Honestly, I think that solidified Solana, and I really do like, these price levels on Sol. BNB is another beast in my opinion. You're only looking at about a 2x here from the all-time high. You know what I mean? 1370 was our all-time high, but BNB continues to be an asset that I like to accumulate. It's down 34% in the last month. You zoom out to the last year. I mean, it had a crazy run up late last year, and just continues to be one of them steady movers that, despite market conditions, performs pretty well. It performs well in a bull run. It performs well in a bear run. You can't really ignore BNB. Now, more of an interesting play, I think, has been Aster. Tell you what, man, this thing has shown a lot of strength. And I don't get caught up in all the craziness, the whole Aster versus Hyperliquid and all of that. I think Hyperliquid's an interesting play as well. But where Aster is, less than a $2 billion market cap, I really, really like it. I was looking at Hype's chart too earlier. This is Hype, but let me flip over to Aster, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. Look at this kind of steady V-shaped recovery, this steady bounce. Now, We wicked all the way down to 40 cents when we had the big crash. We wicked down to 40 cents. And this thing has slowly but surely been creeping up. And if we look at the technicals, all of a sudden the moving averages all the way through our 50-day are on a buy zone, in a buy zone right now. If we recapture this 100-day moving average, if we somehow can grind up to 83 cents, 84 cents, all of a sudden, man, we're looking at some really, really good momentum for Aster. Now, it's going to be difficult to get there. We're going to have to get back, up in this range we haven't seen since, late 2025. But overall, in terms of like a long-term hold, Aster is definitely a long-term hold for me right now in my portfolio. I've got Ethereum, I've got BNB, I've got Solana, I've got XRP, I've got Aster. These are assets that I'm holding in pretty good size that I feel pretty good about, man. I feel pretty good about, even at these price levels. I've got some other assets left over that I've round tripped that I still believe in that I haven't really tax loss harvested or anything like that. Haven't just taken the L on that I think could perform well once we get back into a better environment. Some of those top alts, obviously, Ondo has been an underperformer, and I still question some things with Ondo in terms of the tokenomics. But I think no matter what, down at these price levels, under 30 cents, man, like you really can't ignore it. Solana right now is a steal, long-term hold. Yeah, I hear you, Professor X. I hear you, man. Mad profits. I personally am still waiting for 55.60 entry. I hear that. Yep. I would have to go with Solana over ETH too, man. I'd have to go with Solana over ETH. But Ondo's fascinating down here, man, at these price levels. Obviously Canton stole a lot of the thunder. It's come down a little bit, but it's still holding the line pretty nice. If you look at Canton, it's down to 16 cents. I think it's pretty interesting here too. I mean, it's ranked number 16, guys. That's crazy. I still hold some Stellar XLM. I think it's an interesting beta play to XRP. When XRP moves, Stellar moves. I still got some Chainlink. I'm underwater on Stellar, Chainlink, Algorand, and HBAR right now, but I still hold them. I'm totally out of the SWE trade. We did really well on this thing when we caught it at 50 cents to $1 and it went up to over $5, which still is its all-time high back in January 2025. This was a while ago, but we ran it up on SWE. I took a little profits at near the top, and then I took some more around like 350 range. I'm out of the trade completely on SWE right now. I'm really just kind of focused on ETH and Solana in the smart contract space. Cardano just doesn't really interest me a ton right now. You can only put your money so many places, right? So you've got to be, you got to pick and choose. Mentioned Chainlink, I'm still holding that. Stellar, XLM, I'm still holding that. HBAR, still holding that. I still got a little bit of Zcash left over. We made a great trade on Zcash. Got in like $120, $140, and thing ran up to what, 800 at one point over the last year or so. At least in that 700 range. But I don't think Zcash is over either. I think it can have another run. How about Litecoin all the way down to 55 cents? That's crazy. I'm just not that. I think I hold like 10 Litecoin just for the hell of it on a cold storage wallet, just to say I've got it, just in case one day it goes, crazy, and I've got 10 of them. If one day somehow, some way, Litecoin becomes the next Bitcoin or whatever, that's my thesis there. I bought like 10 of them. I think when it was like at 65, $70. Avalanche, man, this could be a great play, but again, you got to kind of focus in on a select number of assets. You can't buy everything. But you're getting AVAX down to where, it came down in 2023, which is crazy. You know, as we mentioned, man, BitTensor continues to be one that I absolutely love. Look at Tau right now, man, on the hourly. And if we zoom in on the Tau chart on the 10-minute, look at this, man. I mean, it looks really, really strong. I mentioned volume's been down across the board, but it is going into some certain assets, some specific assets here. And I mentioned this morning on the Crypto Breakfast Club, how much I like Tau, and I think we were at like 190. Here we are at 202, and moving on up. We'll see if we can go back after, this 208 range and break through it. We got stopped out there again here on Saturday too. We came up to that 208 range, and then we came all the way back down to 179, 180. So it's been a very volatile asset, but I like this. Whether you're trading it in the intermediary or stacking this for the long term, I don't think Tau's going anywhere, man. So I do still like Tau quite a bit. Let's see some other movers here. This stable thing has been moving. I haven't really been paying much attention to that, but it has been moving. Cosmos is waking up. That's crazy. We'll see. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin on the daily, it's just hanging out at this fib level right now, man. I mean, it's literally just consolidating right at this, fib level, this orange line that you see. I mean, it's just chop, chop, chop right now. Ever since we broke down significantly on the 5th, it's been 11 days. I think if we do come down further, I'm still eyeing like that 58 to 55K range. I've got 2 automatic buys set there at 58 and 55 on Bitcoin if we do come down. If not, I've been quietly stacking it here under 70K, right? So again, I'm not trying to like time the bottom here. I'm not good enough to do that. I think you got to be real with yourself and just say, hey, what's the best strategy I can deploy here to win? And for me, it's, I've been buying a little bit of Bitcoin every day since 2022, April. I've been I'm making some trades, making some plays, swing trading when I can here in this type of market, and stacking my top altcoins where I see fit, right? I mean, but there's no doubt. I mean, Bitcoin is still very bearish on all the technical indicators. I mean, it's below even our 10-day moving average. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so short term here, it doesn't look great, right? But just be prepared, be ready. If the market gives you a good opportunity, a good entry, you got to take it. We talked about XRP and the fact that it could come down close to $1 if Bitcoin were to break down below 60K. I still feel strongly about that. Because look, I mean, it wicked down to 114, 113 when Bitcoin came down to 60K. There's no reason why it can't come down around $1. I think that would act as a psychological level. But I would love to see it, man. I would love to see XRP down below $1.10. I don't know if we'll get it, but that would be really, really nice. I would love to see it. If we did have Bitcoin again take another tumble, I think we would. But if we look at XRP on the weekly, similarly up here in December, we saw a little bit of a breakout. If you guys remember, to start the year, all of a sudden, we were like, oh man, we're back, right? This was that little wick up where we closed the year down to like 178, 179, and we jolted all the way up to 240 on a wick. And we were up like 25% the first 2 days of January or whatever, first week of January. And everybody's like, oh man, the market's back, market's back. And then boom, got hit hard, right? And so you could see well over a month we've been on a downtrend, but maybe, just maybe, we're spinning out of it right now. In order for me to get really excited on XRP, we'd have to come back up and show strength around that $2 range. Otherwise, I'm in accumulation mode, and I'm just kind of watching for potential opportunities for us to come down a little bit lower. Let me know who's out in the chat too, guys. If you guys are listening on YouTube or on X. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. What questions do you guys have too? If there's an altcoin you want me to look at, let me know. I'd be happy to kind of zoom in on something. But as I mentioned earlier, bro, this Aztec, it's only at a 64 mil market cap. This is the alt chart. It's a privacy play. Vitalik Buterin's in on it. So I'm back in on this trade here. I'm hoping we get another big breakout, maybe to that 3.3 range, a little over 3 cents. That'd be a nice move, like a 50% move from here. We got up above 3. We sold right in here at like 2.8 on our way back down. We got out and, it got choppy, and then eventually we came back down and broke down. But it's a play that I still kind of find pretty interesting. Volume's way down now. So, I mean, I want to see that volume pick back up. But it's down 52% in the last 24 hours. But it is holding the line pretty nicely here. I've been checking this this dust token too, because Aster's been on the move. It's up 38% in the last week. This is like a meme coin on Aster. So I've been looking maybe to make a play on this. It's only 320K market cap, right? So you got to be real careful. But just to see if it's moving up with Aster. But Aster is really showing a lot of strength, man, here in the last month. Look at this. I mean, how many cryptos could you say in the last month are actually up? Not too many, bro. Not too many, right? Here you go, the last month. And let me go into the top 100. You don't have many. You got hype. Aster should be on here. I can't find it on the bubble. Canton's still up, and these are new cryptos. Kite and this Pippin thing has been wild. The only successful trades we've made on Pippin are 2 shorts. But it finally broke out of that 55-cent level. But we caught a nice short before it did it. And it went back up and broke through. But just kind of waiting and tracking that one right now. I don't really want to touch it at these levels, given it's like in price discovery. I don't know what it's doing today. Is it back down? Yeah, it's back down a little bit. Oh, it's coming down, actually. It's coming down pretty hard. This might be an interesting short. Let me see something. Woof. There it is. Man, we missed this was the short position right here. See, we got the momentum down triggered on XT Algo. This is the trading indicator I built in 2023. I had built. This was the signal right here. Momentum down. You take your short at 69 cents. You're up money right now. I just wasn't locked into this trade. You can't see everything, but if you had your alerts set on here, you'd be able to make a play here. We'll see. It's trying to hang on to where it came down to on on yesterday. What do you think of Flare and Firelight? No, I mean I know about Flare. I don't know about the other one you mentioned, Firelight. Flare is obviously an interesting play if you like XRP, but to me, man, I'd rather own XRP and really position myself there. You know, I get it. It's a yield product. It's tied to XRP, but it's like a beta play, right? It's similar to like, do you own Bitcoin or do you own MicroStrategy in some ways, right? Or do you own Ethereum or do you own Uniswap? You can own both. I would own personally more Ethereum than Uniswap, though, right? So I kind of look at it in a similar vein. It's not necessarily a bad play. It's down 87% from all-time highs too, which is interesting. Let's see what they say here. Flare's price outlook hinges on its transition from airdrop rewards to real utility. I mean, I will say this. DeFi on the XRPL has a lot of room for growth, right? So you're getting in early when it comes to DeFi on XRP, for sure. Firelight is XRP wrapped in Flare. Haven't done staking other than some FLR delegations. Okay. Got you. I wonder how Deepbook is. Deepbook just got listed on Coinbase. It still looks pretty good. It's still up 19% in the last week here. This is a protocol on Sui. I bought a little bit ahead of the Coinbase listing at like 2.5 cents. So I'm up a little bit on it. I might just hang on to it because it was already beaten down just given the bear market. And then they got the Coinbase listing. I picked some up like right in here at the 2.5. So I don't hate this play at all, especially now that it's listed on Coinbase. Still getting most of its volume from Upbit and Bybit. The traders in Korea, man, just crazy. Thoughts on ICP? I've never owned ICP, man. I don't have anything bad to say about it necessarily, but I've never owned it. What's up, Jay? How you doing, man? What's going on, bro? But it's funny, I own Deep right now and I don't own any Sui. It could change, you know. Let's see here on CoinGlass. Open interest is down, liquidation. In the past 24 hours, 87,000 plus traders were liquidated. The total liquidations comes in at 223 million. Top 10 liquidation events of all time. U.S. tariff hike on China, man. 10-10. 19 billion. It's crazy. On somewhere on here they show ETF inflow outflow. Where do they have that? There we go. Total Bitcoin spot ETF net inflow. Yeah, we don't have any data because markets been closed since Friday. These are all the Bitcoin ETFs. We did have a couple nice positive days in early February. That was after the big collapse, right? So look at this though. If you look at inflows, because we had a huge outflow day on February 4th and February 5th and February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But then look, bunch of inflows came in. Had a bad day on Thursday on ETFs. Semi-positive on Friday. Be interesting to see what we get now, because now we've got the U.S. Supreme Court tariff decision coming up on Friday. It'll be interesting to see what the market does with that. I mean, I do expect us to get some volatility this week once markets, traditional markets, and volume picks up tomorrow. Just as a quick sidebar, we did go ahead and we started a podcast, Crypto Breakfast Club podcast. Obviously, we do our X Spaces Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. But we've also got our podcasts. You can find Crypto Breakfast Club podcast now on Spotify. You can find it on Apple. You can find it on Amazon. And I post them on my YouTube channel here too, and on X. But if you guys just want to listen to some good content, check us out, man. We've got 7 episodes out. Crypto versus gold, how AI will shape the next world order, Bitcoin versus quantum computing, the future of crypto, what crypto needs most right now, Bitcoin versus altcoins, investing in crypto with a stock market mentality, and then why Bitcoin is for everyone. I just did this one solo today, why Bitcoin is for everyone. So if you guys want to check us out on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon, definitely do that. Leave us a good positive review. Oh, yeah, I've heard of Arc Block. Yeah. I remember last cycle it made a big move. Yeah. It's probably way down now, huh? Oh, yeah. Oof. Man, it is way down. Got up to $4.70, man, in 2024. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, the thing with this is just, it's a low market cap, right? And there's just a lot of risk that it comes with that. But we know that it had a breakout before. I mean, I don't think it's a play I would completely steer away from. I would just be careful going in heavy. I mean, it is listed on Coinbase, so that's positive. It has a lot of the big exchange listings. Be nice to see Binance on there. What's up, Toad? How you doing, man? What about Trump rescuing crypto? Yeah. Hey, man. We just got to. We're living in this world, right? Right. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it, man. It is what it is, right? In a lot of ways, I think we'd be in a worse spot, like not looking at crypto, right? Not looking at markets, but I do think, man, we're gonna have a big breakthrough moment. We're gonna have a big breakthrough moment, and we had a great run up on Bitcoin. The issue was we didn't have the altcoin run up. Now, how much of that was Trump's fault? I mean, I think it's multifaceted, man. I think you think about the whole pump dot fun and just the fact is, man, like there's not enough liquidity to go into 20 million altcoins. Whereas like last cycle, the money was so much more concentrated, even in the meme coin side of things, right? It was like Dogecoin, SHIB, it was like very concentrated where all the capital flow was going. So, I mean, listen, I don't get too caught up in who the president is and if they're going to make my life better. I don't think any of them are going to help me. I got to help myself. And in every market, there's an opportunity, no matter what bull, bear, good, bad, ugly, there's always an opportunity. And so that's the way I choose to look at it. And I think the key is, man, when the market's down like this, and in general, people have this idea that I'm going to get rich by investing in crypto. And I don't think that's the right mentality. Like if your mentality is I'm going to invest in crypto and get rich, that ain't it. You invest in crypto and stocks and real estate to build your wealth. It's hard to create your wealth through investing. You create your wealth through making good money at your job, or in my opinion, be your own boss. Start your own business or businesses. Because once you're cash flowing, now you can invest. Now you can afford to buy the dip and the dip and the dip and the dip, right? So I think a lot of times, man, people have in their head, I'm gonna get rich overnight. I'm gonna get this quick hit, and I think that's why you see what's popular, and people chase that new shiny object. You know, Making money and investing for the most part should be boring, relatively. And again, I don't get too caught up in who the head honcho is, and there's always an opportunity. That's the way I look at it, man. This is wild. Just in, U.S. housing market reaches most unaffordable level in history. 400K mortgage is now 3,000 a month. Phew. In 2021, it was 1,500. That's insane. That's actually insane. But I mean, that's what we get after printing all that money. You can't just print a bunch of money and everything be okay. I mean, it just amazed me back in the day when they were printing. What's the stat? It was like 65, 70% of the money that's ever been printed was printed during the pandemic years. And then they started giving out quote unquote free money and the checks. And it's like, we're going to pay for this. Well, here we are years later. No, no, no. What about when you said the new administration came in? It's just not crypto. It's the whole investment scheme on crypto. I'm a crypto miner. Oh, I know everything's more expensive, man. And listen, I'm not like you know, this person can do no wrong. I mean, nobody's perfect. Listen, I mean, the world is in a very difficult spot right now, man. And I feel like we're going through a lot of change with AI and robotics and crypto and then geopolitical tensions. And, we've got this new race going on with AI. We've got this new race going on with space again. Um, you know, Russia's leaving the dollar, joining BRICS. Now they're coming back to the dollar. Like there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of chaos, and markets at large don't like chaos. But this too is also why, you know, it's so much about creating cash flow businesses, right? Because that's going to allow you to withstand the turbulence in markets. Markets are always going to be up and down. And if you over leverage yourself in a market like crypto, that's only a $2.35 trillion market, it gets very difficult because now you're letting your emotions dictate your decision making, right? And so, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like we've had many issues since the dawn of time, regardless of who the president is, man. If they were smart, they'd make this shit super affordable and make money hand over fist instead of waiting for that $1 million sale. What do you mean? What do you mean? Stop lying. The GDP was going down under Biden. Now Trump's killing us. I mean, if you're in the stock market, man, you're doing well. The stock market's been great, and so I'm in stocks too. I'm not just in crypto. But yeah, the crypto market outside of Bitcoin has suffered. But let's not forget, Bitcoin set an all-time high in 2025. And if you were buying in 2022 at $15,000 and your plan was to take some profits when it hit 100K, you got that opportunity 3 years later. So it's always easy to kind of zoom in and look at what's going on right now and throw your hands up in the air, right? It's like, but you got to have a big picture. All I can tell you is this: outside of the markets, outside of crypto, there's a lot of other issues. And most of them have to do with geopolitics and the power dynamic and struggle to stay on top. And in the United States, you get two choices. You get this choice or that choice. And so, it is what it is, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to sit here and like say, woe is me and throw my hands up and he's terrible and he's that. Nobody's perfect, right? I mean, there's been some things where I think have directly negatively impacted the markets. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Tariffs have created a lot of uncertainty. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But bro, there's opportunities everywhere, man. I mean, I made 2 successful trades last week that very, very solid. one short, one long, short on Pippin, and then a long on Aztec. The show goes on, man. If you sit there and dwell on all the negative stuff, then you're not moving forward. You're not getting ahead. You're not going to win. I mean, it's pointless to sit here and dwell on it, man. Yeah, I mean, you could say the same things over and over about different time periods, right? Like, Bittenzer keeps trying, man. Is this thing going to break out or what? Pippin's bouncing back, trying to. Damn, I should have took that short. See right here, man. This was an opportunity. If you're locked in on these charts, this is an opportunity. You could have made a short right here. It could have made money. Boom. Here was your momentum down. Short it. 10x leverage play. You're up 90%. In what? 2 hours? Hour and 10 minutes? Yo, what's up, Zeus? Boss Nova. I mean, yeah, listen, man. I don't think it's that simple. It's very multifaceted. But here's my point, bro. Okay, so you want me to just throw my hands up in the air and we're all screwed. We're done. Throw the towel in, quit. That's what you want me to say? That's why I don't get caught up. Like I didn't get caught up with the last president who was here either. And all the stuff that went on with the SEC and what about XRP being dragged through the mud for 4 years in a lawsuit? What are you going to do? Dwell on it? It is what it is. I was buying XRP at 50 cents and taking profits at $3. Meanwhile, you got people telling you it's going to 100, and then you got people coming out of the woodwork saying, you're stupid. And when XRP goes from 350 down to, $1.20 here, it's like, guys, I was here at 50 cents buying the fear. Here we are again, man. I mean, we're peak fear. And this is what happens when we get into these peak fear zones, man. People get frustrated. So I understand it. Trust me, I get it. But panicking and throwing your hands up and that ain't gonna help you. Ain't gonna help us get ahead, man. It's just not. We have never been this low this long on the fear and greed index. I'm looking at this as a massive opportunity. Again, I don't care who the person is making decisions or what's going on. I mean, it's all noise. It's all noise when you zoom out. And if you have a long-term mindset, it's all noise. It's all noise. Why should we be in a better spot right now? Says who? The markets don't, they don't react to who the person is in power. Crypto's global, man. Let me ask you this. What happened on 1010? What happened on 1010? because we were going pretty good. There's a lot of factors, man. A lot of factors. I mean, they're trying to push through the Clarity Act right now. Is that one person's fault why they're fighting over stablecoin yield? No. I mean, but the Genius Act is pushed through. The Stablecoin Act is on the Clarity Act's on the table. I mean, the other thing you got to realize, guys, this stuff takes time. Shit just doesn't. Oh, now that we got the crypto president and everything's just going to go to the moon. If it were that easy, bro, it ain't. It ain't like that. But again, I talked about this earlier. Altcoin season and all of that. Altcoin season is never something that is 100%, owed to us. It's not. It was never owed to us. Nothing is ever owed. We're owed nothing. The reason, if you look at what happened, in my opinion, is you had ETFs basically steal the thunder. People started buying the Bitcoin ETFs, and the altcoin market got too crowded. It is so oversaturated in the altcoin market. We need 80% of these altcoins to go away. That's a bigger problem than who the decision maker is. To me, Pump.Fun made this entire meme coin space a wreck in a lot of ways. We don't have the amount of money to come in and move this entire market like this. Now, with the Clarity Act, I think we're going to get a lot more insight into where the institutions are going to go outside of Bitcoin. I do think that. And I've been saying this for a really long time. I'm trying to front run the institutions on the altcoin market side of things. I'm looking at Ethereum, XRP, Solana, right at the top. Why? They already have ETFs. They already have the institutional backing. So we need the Clarity Act to get pushed through. And even then, it's not just going to be like press a button and XRP goes to $100. These people who told you XRP was going to $100 by the end of the year last year, how did that work out? I never said XRP is going to $100 by the end of the year. I never said Bitcoin's going to $250,000 by the end of the year. You can't get caught up in all the noise. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. You got to just play the market. You can't get emotional, man. I'm telling you guys, it won't work. I mean, we should be in a better spot because of all the bullish news on XRP, and it seems the better the news, the worse we get, especially on XRP. Again, a news story, a headline is not a reason to pump, especially when you're talking about a $90 billion market cap in XRP. If you're interested and you like XRP, you shouldn't care that it's $1.48 or $3. If you do care all that much, it means you really don't believe in the asset long term and you're just trying to get rich quick. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just being real with you. Right? I mean, and this is why, like, I was buying XRP at 50 cents and why I took profits at $3. It was a clean 6x in 6 weeks. The issue is everybody wants 100x. Everybody wants it right now, 100x. They want their whole life to change. It's not how this works, man. Don't listen to all the stuff you see or read and hear, and we're all going to be gazillionaires. No, don't listen to these people. They're hurting you. They're not telling you the truth, period. It's a long-term game, man. I'm ready to ride this out for years and years and years. It's a journey, man. It ain't a sprint. It's a journey. And I don't stop just at Bitcoin and crypto. I invest in crypto, in stocks, in real estate. You got to cast a wide net, create a diversified portfolio, create businesses, constantly learn, constantly change your approach. if you're just sitting idle in one asset and hoping and praying that one asset's going to turn you into a millionaire while you sleep one night, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. So, I mean, you know, that's where I'm at. Tori, appreciate the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. But here's the thing, man. Bitcoin loses it. Bro, this is not on a person. Okay, we're gonna show you. We're gonna show you guys. All right, let's get into it. I'm frustrated because I want you guys to see what I see and understand what I understand. Okay, let's look at the Bitcoin chart on the monthly. Okay, let's get rid of our Fibonacci levels. All right, here we go. We're gonna get into it. All right, we're going back. We're going way, way back. No, I'm gonna look. Okay, Bitcoin went down here from January 1st, 2018 to January 1st, 2019, 82%. This is 2019, 2018, 2019. Was it one person who did this back here? It lost 82% of its value, bro. 82%. So that same volatility, though, look, to the upside, after that, after it lost 82% of its value, it went up 1,864%. 1,864%. This is Bitcoin, guys. This is what Bitcoin does. It is volatile. Then from the top of November 2021 to the bottom, what do you see here? Came down 76%. 76%. All right. So far, top to bottom, we're down 52% so far, top to bottom. It's normal. In fact, we can come down even more. And it's not like this or that is the reason. It's Bitcoin. This is what it does. It goes up, it comes down. By the way, after this big crash that we had from November 2021 all the way to November 2022, I've done this before. I think it's like 650%. Yep, 654% is what we rised up to. 654%. This is Bitcoin. It's volatile. This is what it does. It goes up parabolically. It crashes anywhere from, 60 to 80%. And then it goes back up on another parabolic run. So, I mean, that's just it, man. It went up from 120. Yeah. Okay, my bad. I thought you meant it started at 60K. No, it started at 15K. Yeah, I mean, guys, from December 2022 to October 2025, Bitcoin went up 662%. That's not enough. This is why you have to have a Bitcoin strategy, in my opinion, right? Have to, bro. Have to. It's because Bitcoin is the mainstay. It's always here. It goes through these big corrections all the time, but it always rips back higher. Pullback, rip, pullback, rip, pullback. Here we go. We're on the pullback. This is our opportunity to stack. Yeah, that's a good point, Zeus. It's a good point. But yeah, man, I mean, and I know people are frustrated, but like I'm trying to be like a voice of reason and say like this is normal. This is normal territory. In fact, if our bottom is at 60K, this is better than normal. It shows that Bitcoin is actually maturing quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, if you believe in the 4-year cycle, yeah. I mean, and at this point, how could you not believe in the 4-year cycle? It's been exactly how it's gone thus far, right? So I mean, we're in a bearish market. We're in an accumulation phase. Things can't go up forever, right? This is an opportunity. And traditionally, if we're in the 4-year cycle and you're trying to figure out, okay, where's the bottom, which I wouldn't try to time the bottom ever. But if you're trying to play that game, we topped out in October. We should bottom somewhere in October, or a little bit before that. It's usually a 12-month bear market, typically. Typically, it takes 12 months from top to bottom, typically. But I mean, it doesn't mean it has to play out that way. That's why I look to just DCA, because I'm not smart enough to, guess. I'm going to wait till, it hits whatever, $52,300. And then I'm not going to play that game. But I will just actively buy. When we came, as soon as we got down under 70, I started DCAing back into Bitcoin heavily because I've been buying a little bit every single day since April 2022. But I started going in a lot heavier. But I started my DCA strategy right in here, guys, when Bitcoin was at 40K. I was buying. And then once we made the V shape, I actually made my first like larger Bitcoin buy. Like once this candle came up like huge, significantly, we got back to like 25K. And then I've just been buying a little bit, even all the way up in here. And now we're coming back down. I buy more than I would on a day that it's going up. DCA BTC on Fridays. All right, guys. That's it. I just wanted to come on, pop on here for a little bit with you guys. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Got a crypto newsletter for free. It's down below in the description. If you guys want to come over and check out XT Algo and get my trading software and use it to either trade or find your best entries for spot, you could check it out. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You could try it risk-free for the first month. I walk you through how to use the product. I've had this thing out since 2023. Really awesome tool that overlays into trading views. You can check that out. And yeah, appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.